The expanding theatre of cyber warfare, as instanced by yesterday's attack on Twitter, on X, the platform owned by Elon Musk, serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities embedded in the digital spaces that many of us frequent daily. The attack, which disrupted services for thousands of people across the US, the UK, and beyond, has sparked controversy, not merely for its technical impact, but for the competing attributions of responsibility that have followed. Yesterday, Twitter experienced a major outage with reports of service disrupting with about 40,000 complaints on Down Detector. Users encountered error messages, infinite loading screens, a general inability to access content, and the outages persisted for several hours, marking one of the most significant cyber incidents to hit the platform in recent months. Elon Musk, the principal owner of Twitter, quickly took to his own platform to offer an explanation, and in a post that resonated with his characteristic flair for intrigue, he claimed this was a massive and likely a massive attack by the work of a large coordinated group and/or country. In a subsequent interview with Fox Business, he narrowed his suspicions, pointing out that the IP addresses originated in the Ukraine area and that they were involved. Yet, as many of Musk's pronouncements go, this being no different to any others, he provided no evidence for his assertion. Musk's claim contrasts sharply with the apparent confession of the pro-Palestinian hacking group Dark Storm team, which publicly took responsibility for the attack. And according to Newsweek, the group stated that the attack was a distributed denial of service, a campaign meant to disrupt Twitter because of its perceived alignment with pro-Israel entities following the ongoing war in Gaza. The group has a history of targeting institutions and states perceived as complicit in Israeli military operations. However, in the midst of these conflicting claims, another shadowy face has emerged, a purported faction of Anonymous, operating under the banner of Operation Dreadnought. And this group, which briefly redirected Twitter's web address to a statement condemning Trump, Musk, and right-wing politics, framed their attack as an ideological act against the perceiving creeping of fascism on the American right. With at least three groups, Anonymous affiliated hackers, Dark Storm team, and Musk's mysterious Ukraine actors, suggested as culprits, the reality of the attack is fairly murky. It remains entirely possible that multiple bad actors exploited the same vulnerabilities at once, turning Twitter into a battleground for competing ideological and global forces. And the question arises, why did Musk immediately blame Ukraine? And why is there less evidence for that than for the other possible sources of the attack? The claim is not an isolated one. Musk has been increasingly vocal in his criticism of US aid to Ukraine, branding the war effort as a never-ending graft meat grinder. He's he's sparred publicly with Ukrainian officials and Western media and Western allies, most recently in a bitter exchange with Poland's Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski, whom he dismissed as a small man. What a pathetic individual Elon Musk has become. His accusation against Ukraine follows a pattern of rhetoric that increasingly aligns with the Kremlin's narrative of the war, whether intentionally or not. This is also not the first time that Twitter has faced technical disruptions since Musk's acquisition and his decision to fire approximately 80% of the company's workforce, including crucial security engineers. Outages have become frequent. And while cyber attacks certainly pose genuine threats, some analysts question whether Musk's staffing cuts have simply made Twitter more vulnerable to routine service failures, which he then attributes to external sabotage. Cyber warfare has long been a tool for global maneuvering, and in the past decade we've seen a dramatic increase in state-sponsored cyber attacks, ranging from Russia's notorious involvement in the US elections to North Korea's hacks against financial institutions. If Musk's assertion were true, and Ukraine or actors within its borders were involved, this would represent an unprecedented shift in Ukraine's cyber strategy. To date, Ukraine has primarily used cyber operations for defensive purposes or targeting Russian infrastructure in the context of its war against Russia. Conversely, if Dark Storm Team is truly responsible, this would align with the increasing digital activism seen in pro-Palestinian hacking collectives, which have stepped up attacks on Western institutions seen as complicit in supporting Israel's military operations. As it stands, the truth remains elusive. Whether this attack was the work of a well-resourced nation-state, an ideological hacker collective, or simply an unintended consequence of Musk's own stupidity, it underscores the fragility of our digital platforms in an age when political narratives and cyber attacks are deeply intertwined. Ultimately, this is more than just about a social media outage. It's a microcosm of the broader information wars that are shaping our world, whether it be in the form of cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, or billionaire-led narratives. The battleground of the 21st century is as much online as it is on the ground, and in this war, truth itself is the first casualty.